What can you do to help students sustain their attention once you have it? I have students who will snap to attention with an attention getter, but not stay at attention for instruction or a lesson. Instead, they look in other directions or talk with peers. We have practiced the procedure and students can explain what they should be doing. So they do know the expectation. Also, these students want to talk to their peers more than anything else. I offer positive reinforcement for attention. Why is this so hard? Love that question. Becky, I think that you had some thoughts on this. Do you want to start off with this one?
Yeah, so the first thing that came to mind for me was, have you ever been to a staff meeting? Because adults, like we struggle with this sometimes. Sometimes we're better than others, but there are just times where we get off task and we talk to our neighbor. So just understanding and accepting, yeah, it's going to be hard because it's hard for adults. So kids are definitely going to struggle. And then you're saying like they know and they understand the rules, which is good. Like that is the first step. You have to know that. But then Paul's verse came to mind where he just talks about like I know the things that I want to do, but I just can't do them. That's also just such a human reality. Like knowing is good, knowing is the first step, but it is not everything that needs to happen for that to be solved. And so just taking comfort, as annoying as said comfort might be at times, in the fact that yes, this is the truth that you are, it's going to be a struggle and it's going to be hard. And I want to put in the chat one of my favorite quotes as of late. From Jenny, who just submitted her classroom management plan recently. And one of her reflection pieces that she shared with us and said we could share out was that these lessons talked about this was what was one of the most helpful things for her. These lessons talked about the importance of not quitting because we do not see results right away. And so, yes, there is still that struggle. There is still that push of they're not doing it yet, but they know what to do, and that you just got to keep going and keep pushing at it. So, those are all like mindset ideas. And then as far as actual practical application thoughts, some things came to mind for me. One of the biggest really that is a couple different ways you could do it is giving approved talk time. Your kids clearly want to talk to each other. And so having that enter into your lessons more as something that you allow and you approve will be an important piece that could really help support you. So one of the very common ones that's very simple, but you do have to teach the procedure would be a turn and talk with your neighbor, where you turn and talk. You give them a question, they turn and talk with their neighbor. Some teachers have this pretty loose where you're just having a discussion. Some teachers have it a little bit more structured where you say partner A, and everybody knows which partner A is. Partner B's turn to talk, and you have it structured that way. It really depends on your kids, and you can bounce back and forth, honestly, depending on what you need. But that would be a really good thing where you give them a discussion topic and then they're allowed to talk. Also, I really like using blurred out answers for a whole class. So it doesn't work for all types of questions, but for those that are pretty simple answers, I really like giving students the opportunity to blurt it out because they want to. And that, again, gives them that approved release that allows them to do something and then helps hone in on using the appropriate behavior at the appropriate time when they're not supposed to talk. And the last thing would be just kind of popcorning ideas together. And so, again, you're allowing that pop of discussion that you allow and helps them feel heard and able to talk and not just have to sit quietly. So those were some of the big ideas that came to mind for me.
Yeah, Becky, I mean, you nailed it. I was just gonna, yeah, I think those twin ideas of like sticking with your plan, not giving up on it, right? And having like continuing to teach them and having those, consequences if needed or, ways to hold them accountable, but also providing, yeah, I mean, it's just tricky because I think kids' attention spans have shortened. And so in third grade, like you probably do have lower attention spans. And so that moving of things that and Becky gave you so many great ways. And there's more, I think, if you look in the resource library too, ideas. If you need more ideas for just basically switching things up so that you are and giving them sanctioned time to talk. I love that. That's really great.